I swear to God, I've been hearing these inexplicable scratching noises echoing from inside my bedroom wall for weeks now, causing a creeping dread to slowly settle deep into my very bones, making sleep almost impossible and shattering my fragile peace. My old house always creaked, but this distinct rhythmic scraping sound felt deliberately placed, always originating directly behind the headboard where I tried desperately to rest, fueling my growing suspicion. One evening, while alone watching TV, I distinctly heard a soft, unsettling whisper emanating from the plaster, clearly articulating my first name in a raspy, unfamiliar voice that instantly froze my blood solid. Paralyzed with terror, I grabbed a flashlight and tentatively approached the wall, my heart hammering a frantic rhythm against my ribs, desperately hoping my mind was merely playing cruel, elaborate tricks on me. A faint, almost imperceptible shadow flickered within a tiny crack near the baseboard, and I suddenly smelled something acrid and stale, like unwashed clothes and damp earth mixed together. The logical part of my brain screamed it was just mice or old house settling, yet the sickening reality of hearing my own name whispered suggested something far more sinister, truly terrifying me profoundly. I called the police, but they found absolutely nothing. No forced entry, no signs of disturbance whatsoever, chalking it up to an overactive imagination coupled with the inherent anxieties of living alone. Despite their dismissal, the unsettling whispers continued nightly, accompanied by subtle shifts in the drywall, suggesting someone was carefully maneuvering within the cramped, unseen space between the studs.
Driven by sheer desperation and mounting paranoia, I finally purchased a small, cheap boroscope camera, intending to insert it into that tiny crack and definitively solve the horrifying mystery. The screen initially showed only insulation and dark wiring until a sudden, horrifying movement jolted into view, a single, pale, unblinking human eye staring directly back at me. Its vacant gaze was filled with an ancient, chilling hunger, instantly confirming my worst fears about a truly monstrous, unseen presence that had undoubtedly been observing my every solitary move. I dropped the camera screaming hysterically and immediately fled my own home, leaving everything behind, because knowing someone lived there, silently watching, was utterly unbearable for my soul.
Moving into my grandfather's old, isolated farmhouse felt like a fresh start after my divorce, but I quickly discovered certain parts of the house held a permanent, unnatural chill, regardless of the season or thermostat settings, making me uneasy. The hallway leading to the guest room always felt several degrees colder than the rest of the dwelling, a frigid pocket of air that raised goosebumps on my skin whenever I passed through it, despite the summer heat. I initially blamed faulty insulation or drafty windows, but no amount of sealing or heating ever managed to dispel that bone-chilling cold, which seemed to emanate directly from within the walls themselves, a sinister presence. Then the whispers started, soft and almost inaudible, like dry leaves rustling in a forgotten attic, always coinciding with the most intense cold spots, seeming to warn or perhaps beckon me into their darkness. One night, a picture frame on the wall in that cold hallway suddenly shattered without any physical touch, sending glass shards scattering across the wooden floor, marking a terrifying escalation of events. That was when I started noticing subtle shifts in the wallpaper patterns, like faint indentations that slowly appeared and then disappeared again, as if something large was moving slowly underneath. The terrifying realization hit me like a physical blow. Someone or something unseen was deliberately hiding, maneuvering silently within the very structure of my inherited home, observing my every vulnerable moment.
I researched the farmhouse's history, uncovering old local legends of a reclusive relative who supposedly vanished without a trace decades ago, perhaps never truly leaving the premises at all. Fear quickly turned to frantic searching, and I discovered a crudely boarded-up passage hidden behind a bookshelf in the darkest corner of the guest room, emanating that distinct, pervasive cold. Tearing down the boards revealed a narrow, pitch-black crawlspace leading deeper into the house's forgotten recesses, an incredibly suffocating and utterly terrifying passage into the unknown. The air inside was stagnant and impossibly cold, carrying the unmistakable scent of damp earth and decay, a clear indication that something very old and very much alive resided within its depths. I didn't dare go further, but I sealed that chilling opening permanently, knowing a silent, unseen occupant still lurked inside, forever watching from its cold, hidden domain within my home. I live in a small, old apartment building downtown, and for months I've been increasingly convinced that my upstairs neighbor isn't actually occupying the apartment directly above mine, but rather something far more sinister. Footsteps above me never sound directly overhead. Instead, they echo from within the shared wall, a strange, dragging, shuffling noise that consistently moves horizontally, not vertically, through the building's structure. The landlord insists the upstairs apartment is definitely occupied, yet I've never actually seen anyone entering or leaving the unit, which further intensifies my unsettling suspicion about the unseen resident. Sometimes I smell faint, strange odors, like damp concrete and stale cooking oil, seeping through the vents, always coinciding with those peculiar shuffling sounds within the communal wall. The final straw happened when my cat, who typically ignores the walls, began frantically clawing and hissing at a specific section of drywall as if perceiving a hidden, deeply disturbing presence. I decided to conduct my own investigation, gently tapping along the wall, discovering a hollow, distinctly resonant area, much larger than any single stud cavity should ever logically be. My mind raced with horrifying possibility. A hidden room, a secret passage, perhaps even someone meticulously carved out a clandestine dwelling directly within the building's ancient internal structure. Now, every creak and rustle sends shivers down my spine because I'm absolutely certain a silent, unseen tenant is constantly lurking just beyond my sight, existing inside my building's very walls. My neighbor, old Mr. Henderson, disappeared suddenly last month, leaving his front door unlocked and a half-eaten meal on the table, creating an immediate, unsettling mystery that still haunts me deeply. The police searched his house extensively, finding absolutely no trace of him whatsoever, despite the lingering, unusual smell of damp earth and something distinctly metallic permeating the entire dwelling. I kept hearing faint, almost imperceptible scratching sounds emanating from his shared wall with my house, especially late at night when everything else was eerily silent, making my skin crawl profoundly. The scratching grew louder, more deliberate, almost like someone was systematically attempting to burrow their way through the plaster, causing me immense anxiety and making me question my sanity. Then, a strange, tiny piece of crumpled, familiar fabric poked out from a newly formed crack near the ceiling, an exact match for Mr. Henderson's favorite worn flannel shirt. The shocking realization solidified in my mind. Mr. Henderson hadn't vanished. He was trapped, or worse, somehow dragged into a hidden void within the very shared wall separating our homes. I tried to call authorities again, but their prior dismissal made me hesitate, fearing they would simply mock my wild, unbelievable claims, leaving me alone with this chilling, terrifying truth. Now, the wall sometimes seems to bulge faintly, and I hear soft, desperate whimpering, knowing he's still there,
existing just beyond my reach, a forgotten, tragic captive within the plaster. My new fixer-upper house has always felt strangely cold, even in peak summer, and I frequently caught fleeting glimpses of unsettling shadows moving at the very edge of my peripheral vision. I attributed it to an old house settling or an overactive imagination, but then the soft, rhythmic tapping started, always from behind the drywall in the furthest, most forgotten corner of the attic. Intrigued and slightly unnerved, I investigated, discovering a small, crudely patched-over section of drywall that seemed distinctively newer than the surrounding aged plaster, almost a deliberate cover-up. Prying it open, I found a narrow, dark passage leading into a hidden space within the wall cavity, built with surprising craftsmanship, suggesting a secretive, deliberate construction.
Inside, amidst decades of dust, lay a makeshift bed of rags, ancient food wrappers, and a collection of meticulously carved wooden figurines, each depicting a tiny, unsettling, distorted human face. The sheer horror of realizing someone had secretly lived, thrived, and possibly died within my new home's very structure sent a profound, chilling wave of terror through my entire being. A faded, crumbling journal lay nearby, detailing the builder's desperate secret existence, his reasons for hiding, and his chilling, perpetual observation of the former occupants for years. Now, even after sealing the hidden space, I can't shake the terrifying feeling of being watched, knowing that a presence, once alive and clandestine, permeated my walls and silently lingered there still.